This is the Amp Hour Podcast, recorded Monday, March 28th, 2011. Episode 36, Big Business Buffoonery.
Welcome to the Amp Hour. I'm Dave Jones from the EEV blog.
And I'm Chris Gamble from Chris Gamble's Analog Life.
Oh, God, he's got special effects, people. Be afraid.
Right,
Be very afraid.
So much fun. I love it.
Oh,
I'll try not to abuse the privilege. Well, I routed the... So I was playing with my drums this weekend, and I love putting drums through effects pedals. So I routed the soundboard I have and all the microphones, including my podcasting mic, through this so I can do a lot of fun stuff on here and very annoying stuff, you know?
Yeah. Great. We've got an hour of that, folks.
Yeah, that's right. No, I'm sure people will very quickly tire of it, so I'll take it easy. I'll throw it in when people are just about to nod off.
Right, okay. Cool. I still cannot get the hang of this microphone stand I've got. I've got to hang it in front of me. I'm dual monitored today. I've stepped into the 90s and I'm using dual monitors.
Yeah.
And, unless I have them off to the side, they're like the mic just gets in the way with this huge round pop filter on it.
Yeah.
And I can't see I can see the screens through the pop filter, but it's pretty darn hard to read when you're reading through, 2 layers of mesh material.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yep. So
won't complain.
We're all set to go though. So we don't have a guest this week. We should. I mean, it's pretty obvious.
No.
They're not hiding in the wings or anything.
No.
But
no, we won't. But it was a big success last week. So thank you, Jerry. I know she listens. She listens every week, and that was great. And all the feedback was very positive.
Yeah.
So
and
we will no doubt have more guests.
Yeah, I like that. I like the fact that we can kind of go on and off too. That's because then you and I can have the regular conversation and not have to entertain people. You know what I mean?
Yada 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 yada.
Now it's just back to us and the listeners, and we're good, right? It's like when someone comes over to your house, like you have to clean and you have to do all this other stuff.
Oh yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
We have a list and we're not afraid to use it.
That's right. We are not.
There's no way we are getting through 36 items in today's list.
Only 36, and some of those are old. So.
Probably half of them are old, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Mm-hmm.
We normally start with shout-outs. Do we have any?
Yes, we do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They're in the list somewhere.
I moved them up to the top. There we go. Yeah.
Ah, well, he's sorted.
I did. All right. Yeah, so first up is Mike Cowgill, and he's actually...
Hey, Mike.
I didn't see his first build, but he's actually building an LCR meter now, and he's just starting that back up now, and it looked like a really cool build. So he's kind of doing... I think he's open sourcing it, too. He had done RF vector network analyzer previously, but it looked like a really cool project, so I'll look forward to keeping an eye on that.
Yeah, I've had a look at it, and it's awesome. He's up to part 1, and he started out using the new... Well, I don't know if it's new. It's probably been around a while, but the analog device is AD5933, which is an impedance converter, a 12-bit impedance converter, and it's pretty much designed for exactly this purpose. And it's a really neat special function chip.
Yeah.
But he found a few limitations with it, so he decided to bugger that.
Yeah.
I'll just roll my own. So I think he's going to roll his own.
Well, not his own chip, but his own solution.
No,
right?
his own solution. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks really cool though. So people should check it out. He's got some good block diagrams about what he's planning, and we'll link to that too.
Yep. And I like it how he's using a trans impedance amp instead of the regular. Transconductance amp instead of the regular sense resistor, so there's no burden voltage because normally you've got to measure to do an LCR meter, you've got to measure the voltage and the current and the phases on those as well, and with those you can calculate everything. So he's using a there's not much to it. You just whack it
there's a lot
sideways
to it,
through
but-
your device under. Well, no,
Yeah.
but in theory, it's pretty.
Oh, I know.
The
In
block
theory, yeah.
diagram's pretty. Put a sine wave into your device under
Yeah.
test. You measure the voltage and the current. Ta-da!
Yep.
You
Well,
can
you got
calculate
to measure some other
everything.
things like how much the shift is and stuff, but how much
Oh
the phase
yeah,
shift.
but that's all done in software. So you capture
Oh,
the
well, we'll just do it in
phase of the
software.
voltage and the.
Yeah, it's easy
So,
then. Just throw it
yeah.
over the wall, right, Dave?
That's right.
Nice.
Anyway.
Yeah. So it looks like
Yep.
definitely a cool project, and we'll keep an eye on that. And,
Absolutely. And then he decided to go high end, and he's talking about like 400 meg sample DDS chips and all sorts of stuff. I don't know. I think he's gilding the lily a tad. I think he might be going to town.
Oh, Gilding the Lily.
So-
That's right. I like that phrase.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess you can always. I mean, it's nice when you have pin compatible too. I don't know if those chips are pin compatible, but when you have that, and then you can always downgrade later if you're sick of paying too much for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if people out there don't know the term gilding the lily, it is quite an old one. It's a very old term, and it basically means apply. It comes from applying gold leafing to something. So you're gold plating it. You're going above and beyond what it, what that product deserves or what you should do.
Right.
You just
Usually
Yeah,
with
you
the
just-
implication that it's covering your butt in case you don't have the specs in somewhere else, right? So in case...
or that, or you're just making it look fancy, or
okay.
you're just doing it because you can.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
A little extra change in the pocket.
So that's gilding the lily.
Right. Another shout out we got, Adam Ward. He took up our idea, I think, from episode 10, I think it was. Man, it's a while ago now.
Ah, dude, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, but he started up a new blog and put a picture on there, and we always like that. So thank you, Adam. And
Yes.
a nice looking site to start with. So he's going to capture some of his projects there. It's good.
Awesome. No, it's a great way to document your projects. Why just do them? Why not just, go that little extra step and put the info out there?
Yeah, I agree.
It's great. It's got so many benefits.
Yes.
It's huge. All right. We wanted to rant about. Let's get
Ton
into
of
the
stuff.
rant.
We got what, 6 there?
Is there rant with a reverb effect?
Oh, let's see. This is a rant
And that was live.
from a
Awesome.
church.
Right. Thankfully, it's under your end. Rant.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, we both saw this actually, but you
Yeah.
added it to the list first, so you've got dibs, I guess.
Or which one?
The Engineering Mind.
Oh yeah,
Our good friends,
Well, that's a
National
shame.
Instruments.
That's a shame. So that was Todd Sear, and
Yep.
he was the an engineering mind for NI, and they just, he moved jobs and asked if he could take the brand with him, and they said no, we own that, blah blah blah. Probably people duping
Yep.
it out there, and now it's just sitting there. They're not doing any. Even if they just made videos, I don't care who does it now. Todd did some cool videos,
exactly.
but I can't believe that they're just letting it sit there. And
Well, it's dead. I actually went to the site, and it's like a shutdown domain. They've
oh yeah,
killed it. It's like, there it is, Bluehost, affordable web hosting. There's
Yeah.
that nice looking chick on the front with the, with the stock image of the.
yeah.
I have no idea why. Anyway,
Yeah.
welcome
yeah.
to an engineeringmind.com. It's for
Yeah,
sale,
they're
I guess.
not doing anything with it at all. So
Well,
it's a darn shame.
that's pathetic,
Yeah.
really. And and I do know that we'll have to get him on and let him explain, because I think it'd be an interesting story.
Yeah.
I don't know whose idea it originally was, but if you haven't seen it, and Engineering Mind was like a video blog style thing where
Yeah.
Todd sits in his cubicle at work and he just, rants on about stuff, and he does like a funny little skit, and they were very well written, very clever,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
You said that was your only competition for a while too, right?
That was pretty much my only competition because Jerry was still doing. I think she
Chips.
was still doing the Circuit Man and Fat Girl at that stage, and it wasn't really a video blog. Now she's gotten into YouTube. She's
Yeah.
my competition.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, and Todd was my only opposition, I thought, at that time, and but I thoroughly enjoyed his show. I thought it was awesome. It was a different style, it wasn't there weren't tutorials or reviews. It was just like a funny little
it was entertainment, basically.
Kinda. It was entertainment, engineering entertainment, and I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just pissed it away. What are you doing? Can't get over these big companies. They just have no clue at all.
Yeah.
And he had like a couple of thousand, not listeners, viewers.
The subscribers or something? Or?
Subscribers, yeah. And it was going well. Oh, boy. And they pissed it away. Anyway, as far as I'm aware, Todd wanted to take it with him. He even offered to, look, I'll keep you guys as a sponsor. You can approve the scripts and everything. And, and they said, no, piss off, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. The joys of doing something for your company, or that involves your company. So
yeah.
The
question I always wonder about too is well, when does it become, if it was just Todd doing it, right, or say it's just you doing it for a company?
Yep.
Like, do they own your name? Do they own your face? Like, do they? You know what I mean? Like,
well, no, of course they don't.
I mean, but
unless
if they put money
something
behind
in writing.
It, yeah,
well, no.
Maybe.
If you didn't sign anything and you registered the domain name, I mean,
no, I know, but I'm saying say
who holds the domain name rules,
Right? No, I know, but say John Smith starts working at I don't know.
Right.
National Semiconductor, something like that, right? And they want him to start doing videos, and he starts doing videos, and under John Smith, right?
Yep.
And then he leaves, and he says, "Well, I want to start blogging or doing videos or doing other stuff."
Tough shit.
Yeah, right. Is it like?
Yeah, no. It's seriously, it's tough shit. It's like I can trade under the name David Jones, right? There's a huge department store in Australia. They own the trademark, I think. David Jones, but I'm legally allowed to form a company that's named, to trade under my own name, because my own name is David Jones. So I can trade under that, and they can't stop me.
Yeah.
They do not own that brand if it's your name. So, yeah. And even if you thought up the name and you registered the domain name and you were, doing that, but your company was effectively paying for it, well, that's tough tits to them. You can continue to do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. They'd probably try and shut you down, but then you just tell them to stick it up their arse and that's it. End of that.
Yep. All right.
Absolutely. That's my advice for today. Tell everyone to stick it up their arse. That's the Australian way.
All right. So we've talked about people going into marketing and stuff like that, but what about finance? We have a thing on here about finance.
Yeah, you added that this morning.
Yeah, I did.
Rant away. Go on.
Well, there's a TechCrunch article about not people. Come on, we're not people. Engineers going into finance. This was a big thing, probably started 10 years ago.
It was the
maybe.
80s, wasn't it?
80s
the
even?
Big finance. End of the 80s was the big, everyone wanted to get onto the stock market and work as a trader, and that was like the big, when was that? When was the movie Wall Street out? Was that?
That was 80s, yeah.
Late 80s? That was that was the start of the rot.
Ugh. Yeah. So anyways, a lot of, engineering students, they become quants, as they're called, where they go to, hedge funds or whatever, and they work on algorithms that trade for you, basically. And, they made a buttload of money. That's basically the idea of it. But now it's starting to trend back the other way, except not so much, really. So that's kind of my rant, is I can't believe people are still doing this stuff. I mean, I know there's money in it, but, seriously, if you're an engineer and you're going to do this stuff, I really hope you lose your job. That's all it comes down to. I know that sounds kind of rough, but I was laughing my ass off when those guys started getting laid off. People with, legit engineering talent who squandered it. Because that is squandering it. You're not doing anything useful for the world. You're pushing paper. You're not creating value. I'm sorry. So that's my rant about that. I don't know.
I don't necessarily disagree.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
But they're talking about how it's becoming sexy again to get back into engineering and
oh, great. Yeah. Well, okay, engineering. Yeah.
Yeah, and engineering, and that's good, right? When the dip came around,
absolutely.
And, but not the dip, even the recession. When the recession started, these guys couldn't find jobs. Guys and girls couldn't find jobs being traders and being, working in these big funds. And now they're getting back to it. Now the market's coming back, they're going back to it again. It's just like, man, you're not helping anybody. That's the basic law, and that's the bottom line. You're not helping anybody other than yourself. Yeah.
Not that there's anything inherently wrong with that, I guess. If you want to be like that, well, fine. But, yeah.
Just don't come crawling back. That's the real thing.
Right, okay. Ooh.
Yeah, that's right. I said it.
Right. Yeah. That's pretty mean.
What?
I always give someone a second chance.
I'm sorry.
No.
If you're causing a global meltdown, if you're causing a global financial meltdown, you're like, oh yeah, come on and work in my business. Come work with me in business, right? I want you to sit in the cubicle next to me. How is that going to happen?
All right, fine.
No second chances for me. I'm sorry.
All right.
Yeah.
He's mean.
Yeah. I'm an a-hole.
Bastard. Absolutely. I've got another rant.
All right.
It's a US rant.
Uh-oh.
Yep, sorry.
It's okay.
I did a video. I've got a bird problem.
Yeah.
Out the front.
Yeah.
Right? All these birds are nesting in the tree out the front, right? Yeah. At about 6, 7 p.m. or something for an hour or more, they just yap away. Yap, 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 yap.
Tweet, 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 tweet.
Something like that. Well, that's what it sounds like in my garage, because once it enters the garage, it just echoes around the garage, and it's pretty darn close.
Yeah.
I was impressed there. And it is bloody annoying, and I've had to stop shooting my blogs. I just can't do it. It's just too darn loud. And, of course, I did a quick little video on it just to show what it's like, and I tweeted it as well. And without fail, almost including yourself.
Including me, yeah.
Christopher Gamble.
Yep. That's like my mom would call me, like yelling at me.
Yes, exactly. And add your middle name as well.
Yeah, John. Christopher John Gamble.
Christopher John.
Christopher John Gamble. Ah!
Yeah, even you came on, all the Yanks came on and said, get a gun and shoot them, shotgun. Don't use a shotgun, Mike, use a freaking shotgun and shoot the bastards and, I don't know, blow them up, do something. What is it with you Yanks and guns? For goodness sake.
I mean, that will solve your problem, at least for now.
That is the US solution to everything.
Yeah,
Weapons.
I know you said that, yeah, I know.
Great. Anyway,
we actually had that problem at my old work. We would walk in the morning and just be super loud. And they tried shotguns without any actual ammunition in it. Not ammunition, but it was just
blanks or whatever.
Yeah, it was just blanks for sound. And they'd fly away and they'd come right back. So,
yeah, of course.
Yeah,
and of course everyone has a shotgun over there, right? There's one. The secretary at the front desk has one.
A chicken in every pot,
on a gun rack,
a car in every garage, a gun in every cabinet. Yeah, that's what it is, Dave. Yeah. Living up to our stereotype. Maybe it's just the people on Twitter. That's what it is. And YouTube.
Right, okay.
You know the people on YouTube are nasty, so.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
They're just protecting themselves from other people on YouTube.
You guys have it so ingrained into your culture. It's scary. It really is.
I know.
Unbelievable.
I have never fired a gun myself.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You unpatriot. You.
Yeah. Well, I'm afraid of them. So I'm afraid. I think about my problems with soldering irons, how much I burn myself, and high voltage, and then I think about guns. I know high voltage can kill you, but guns are a little more dangerous, because there's no internal resistance to bullets.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh dearie.
Yeah. So I'm very afraid of them. But
right.
All right. We should switch off rants. What do you think?
Yes, please.
All right. Let's go to this suggestion from Patrick. So Patrick York wrote in about old Radio Shack magazines. There's a site called RadioShackCatalogs.com. Have you ever seen this site?
Yeah, I've seen that. It's been around for a while. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, it has. And
I mean, you have a lot more experience with older Radio Shack stuff than I do.
I used to collect Radio Shack catalogs, and I cannot, add Tandy catalogs, as they'll call it here in Oz. Yeah. And I can't believe I threw them out. I collected every monthly flyer they ever had, every catalog. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and I just tossed them. And
were they different for did they have? Were they were the Radio Shack catalogs like the DigiKey is today? Is that kind of just parts, or did they do app notes and stuff too?
No, they didn't do app notes. It wasn't electronics. Because they were mainly a consumer company.
Yeah.
They've always mainly been sort of, they've had those consumer catalogs. So they've had all your audio gear and your computer gear and your hi-fi and everything else. But they did have components as well. But yeah.
Yeah, it's a really cool site though. You can just click through and check them out.
Yeah.
There's some old ones, man. Oh man.
I don't know if they've got the monthly flat. Are they like just the yearly catalog? I think they might be. I haven't looked at this site for quite a long time. Are they just yearly
looks like
catalogs
yearly,
or something?
Yeah.
Right. Yep. Yeah.
And,
I had the monthly flyers.
Although the downside
like
is they use this stupid thing where it like looks like it's flipping the page actually when you.
Yeah, I know, one of
that.
those wanky flash animation things. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, this thing's
just
great.
Give me
It's
the
got
PDF.
articles about the TRS-80 system. Ooh,
Trash 80. Yep.
Trash 80. Nice.
That's what it's called. That's what it's affectionately. Oh yeah, that's what it's affectionately known as, the Trash 80.
I love it. This is they have sound too. Why do you need sound for this? It's like I don't know when I'm flipping the page.
No, that's pretty pathetic. Yeah, just give me the. That's bad.
Modern convenience when you're using a computer to flip a fake page and it is sure to rustle for you.
Have they like paid someone to do that site, or they've done it themselves, or
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess you can get that as a plug-in, that wanky animation thing.
Yeah.
Just list the PDF, a text page with a link to every
then you wouldn't
PDF
have to
from
stare at
1920.
Yeah, you don't have to stare at their ads underneath then, though. That's the real thing.
Right. Wow, you can put text ads on the side. That's fine. But
not if you're downloading the PDF, though. That's what it really is.
Oh, yeah, but you've got to go to the site to do that. So, the text and the Google AdSense ads will be there.
Yeah. Man, this is great. I love looking at old advertisements. I think that's my favorite thing. Like the catalog's cool. They're showing tubes, and I'm looking at the 1940s version. You can see tubes and, a bunch of stuff, heat sinks, whatever. But it's always the ads. Ads always... Because, advertising has changed a lot over the years,
Absolutely.
And
look, there's a woman in every ad,
Oh, really?
Well, not quite, but yeah, there are lots of women in these ads.
Yeah.
Bet your bottom dollar.
Yeah.
So... which we ranted about last week, which
yes,
we won't
did.
go back into.
Right. No, we will not.
No. But yeah, looking through old you just see the progress of, the old ads are fun, but then you see the progress of electronics and test gear and components and all sorts of stuff, and it's just, could spend all day on there just browsing.
Oh, yeah.
It's fantastic.
For sure. So people should definitely check it out. It's a great site.
Yep.
Great site.
For sure.
What else we got on here?
I can hear a dog in the background there.
Oh, yeah.
Your doggy is...
My pup is barking.
It's gone off.
Yep.
Right.
She goes crazy sometimes. So what's next? We should get into the discussion stuff. How about...
Well, you had a thing. There was a thing about the Hewlett-Packard open source calculator.
Oh, yeah,
design.
yeah. So
this is not new. It's pretty old.
No, it's not. But Eduardo wrote in about this. Basically, they open sourced one of their older designs with schematics and everything else. And,
well, it's a current calculator.
Yeah.
But they decided to open source it and give you a development kit for it and the schematics and everything. It's great. They open source their calculator and there's a JTAG. They build a JTAG header into it so you can just hook it up and they'll sell you a little programming cable that you can hook up and hack the thing and. Yeah, it's just great.
Yeah, display.
And I actually talked about this design back in my fourth or fifth blog.
Oh, it's that old, huh?
It's that old, yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
And they use an Atmel ARM processor, but unfortunately, let's get into some electronics here.
Yeah.
They use it at, go figure, right? They use an Atmel processor, but they clock it at 30 megahertz. And this is what I done. This is what I did my blog on, and you can look it up. And I draw graphs and do all sorts of things. Yeah, but they, which at the time surprised me. I thought, what the hell do you need to run your processor at 30 megahertz on a simple financial calculator for? I thought that was just nuts. And then I looked into the details of it, and it's powered from two 2032 CR2032 coin cell batteries, right? And they have a quite high internal resistance of about 10 ohms each or something. So that's about 5, and they put them in parallel. So that's about 5 ohms internal resistance when they're fresh. And of course that ramps up.
Yeah.
It's a curve that ramps up with as the battery ages. And every time you take what they did, as soon as you actually hit a key on the keyboard, the actual processor would power up, run at 30 megahertz, process it, and then shut back down. And which people all said that that's fine because it draws the same amount of power whether you do the processing instruction in 1 microsecond or you do it in whether you do it in 100 microseconds at a slower speed. And I went, no, it's not. You're not looking at the details. And the detail is that ESR of that battery. Every time you take a gulp of current from that, you're going to have a loss in the ESR in your battery. So it's not beneficial to do faster processing in a shorter time. It's actually more power efficient to do slower processing over a longer period of time, and then you don't waste that power in the ESR of your battery. And I think I did the calcs that it started out like 5% or something would be the loss. So each calculation they were pissing away, my favourite term, pissing away 5% of their 5% of the power just due to the ESR. And once the batteries start to age, that just gets worse and worse, and it goes up to 30-40% or something, or 30% or something at the end of the battery life. It's just bad. It's just poor design.
Yeah. What about the transient power equation too? Like when you're looking at like switching of transistors, did you work that in too?
Well, no. See, that's the thing everyone was arguing, is that technically, if you just power the chip, it really, because it's a CMOS chip, it uses the same amount of power effectively. Very minor differences, but don't include them. Essentially, it makes no difference whether you process something in 1 microsecond at 10 megahertz or 10 microseconds at 1 meg. It uses the same amount of power. Ta-da! But when you power it from batteries, no, it doesn't. You lose power in the ESR of your batteries or the ESR of anything else that you're powering it with. So, and then you've got complicated stuff like bypass capacitors and things like that. But that current's got to come from somewhere, right? So it's you are pissing away that power. Okay. So it's poor design. And Cyril, you mentioned in the notes here, Cyril's the guy who actually designed their calculator. In fact, Cyril is pretty much the entire Hewlett-Packard calculator division. Actually, there's Cyril and one other guy, as far as I know. Oh,
Cyril's a name? I thought that was a person or a place, rather. Or,
no.
Or a division.
He's French. He's Yes.
Wow, that's quite an.
I see the notes. In a division called Cyril. No, no, Cyril D. I won't get his last name right. Cyril de Brusen. Okay, I think is his last name. But he's one of two guys in the entire Hewlett-Packard calculator division. They've pruned back just a tad on staff, since their heyday of their Hewlett-Packard calculator division when the Woz worked there. And they're now down to 2, I believe. Anyway, but maybe there's a manager in there as well.
Well, there's got to be a diminishing return. I mean, like calculators, it's kind of getting pushed off, right?
Exactly. Well, and they're all made by a company called Kinpo. Kinpo in China or something.
Okay.
Big shock. Yeah. Big surprise. They're actually made in China, but but they still do develop them in the US there, and they just subcontract out the manufacture of them, and even some of the source code, I believe. So. Which is a bit of a shame. But anyway, he saw my video and admitted that, probably wasn't the best design decision. And he would look at fixing that in the next design, which I don't think he did. So
the basis behind your calculation was that, like, P equals I squared R. That's what you're talking about? So the higher...
I squared R loss, there's the I squared R loss you've got to consider in the battery.
So does that actually manifest as heat then through the battery?
That manifests as heat. Yep, that manifests as power wasted.
That stinks. What you got to do is...
it starts out at 5%, which is quite low, but when you're designing a calculator, which is almost the ultimate low power, one of the ultimate low power devices, you know. And considering some of HP's old, the Voyager series calculators had 20-year battery lives, right?
Crazy.
This is a tad disappointing. So,
that's okay.
Anyway, And he tried to argue that the ESR was much lower than the data sheet. No, and bullshit.
Well, that's possible. But goes up
still,
over time. Right?
No, you've got to work from the data sheet specs. And he couldn't produce data to prove it, and he finally admitted that. Anyway.
Yeah, that's an interesting point you mentioned about working from the data sheet. I call them data sheets. Is like you can go off datasheet, right? I mean, like a lot of times you will be able to find parts that are way better than what the datasheet says. But, and this is something I've seen before, like when you go back to the manufacturer, you say, hey, it used to be, it used to be 10 ohms internal resistance, and now it's 20 when it comes to me. And they're like, well, we spec'd 100.
Because they've changed the die. Yeah, well, right, okay, right.
Yeah. I mean, if it's still in there, they're going to just say, well, guess you should have listened to us the first time.
Exactly. You don't rely on measured typical figures because they're not guaranteed.
Yep.
So
big old.
Well, my current video is I got a blog for everything. It seems my current video shows exactly that, the the classic LM317.
Yeah.
Right. I thought I'd get a bit better. A bit better dropout voltage than what I got.
Yeah.
I was hoping for a bit better than datasheet, but then I went through and measured it, and you can see it on the video that no, it almost exactly meets the datasheet load graph, and what a bummer.
Yeah. Yeah, and that comes down to
give me
that's like a process engineering thing too, because it's like if you're a process engineering and is good enough, right, and it's getting out the door, you're still making money on it, and so there's no added bonus to make it any better, And the other side of it too is sometimes people are relying on what you expected not to find, right? So what was what did the dropout voltage end up being?
It was 1.5 volts at 20 milliamps.
Right. And so
which increases to 1.7 at 200.
Right. And so some designers actually design with that in mind, right? So it's always you're never going to make anyone happy, absolutely. Right?
So, no, exactly. But let that be a lesson to you, kiddies.
Yeah.
Never use typical figures from a data sheet. Well, do so at your own peril.
Be sure to test as well. Testing is important.
Yep. Don't assume. Number one rule of electronics. Don't assume. Measure. Catch you every time.
Yes.
Murphy's a bitch. Anyway, that's enough Hewlett-Packard calculator ranting. If you didn't know, I'm sort of into calculators.
Yeah, we've heard. Yeah.
I'm a bit of a calculator nerd.
Well, and related to that, we had talked before about the Agilent phone calculator, how they have an app for that, right?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Right, and actually on Electronic Stack Exchange, I was browsing that, and I saw someone talking about Wolfram Alpha. There's actually a really cool conversion engine built right into Wolfram Alpha.
Well, it does everything, doesn't it?
Oh,
Isn't it
it's an answers engine.
It's a
be-all,
end-all tool. Oh, right, an answers engine. That's the wank.
I haven't used it in a while. There's always the gimmicky stuff.
When it first came out, I typed a few things into it. Oh, yeah, that's kind of cool. And other things didn't work. And it was like, whatever.
Yeah. So it was Endolith on Electronic Stack Exchange. And he just typed in 0.02 milliamps, 8 years to milliamp hours. And it craps out this whole long page of all the conversions you could possibly want.
Oh, awesome.
It's awesome. It's really cool.
Right.
So it's nice to
impressive.
have. I don't know if it's... Yeah, so let's see. 0.02 milliamps for 8 years. And that's actually... I think they were doing like a calculator type conversion as well. So for like long-term power. And it just says 1400 milliamp hours. That's the answer. And then it also goes into kilocoulombs and megacoulombs and coulombs and everything else. And
fantastic.
And then even they do it as a comparison to Kindle battery capacity. That's crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
they actually give you a real-life example?
Yeah, comparisons is battery capacity. They say 1/2 of a typical AA battery, 0.92 of a Kindle battery, and it's about equal to an iPhone. That's awesome.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
boy.
Nice job, Stephen Wolfram. We approve.
And if you go to volume, will they give you, it's twice the volume of Sydney Harbour and it's 5 football stadiums worth of...
I haven't tried that one. Yeah.
What is a standard-sized football stadium anyway?
Well, what kind of football are we talking about? Are we talking about...
That's right. I'm talking about your crap gridiron thing.
Yeah, right.
That big sissy game with the pads.
Oh, yeah, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Us and our teeth.
Right.
And our non-cauliflowered ears.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Bunch of pussies.
Oh, well. I don't play it anyways.
What else have we got? Well, we should probably get a few things that have been on here for a while.
I guess so.
Agilent. Agilent released, I did the review of the Agilent scopes. They came out to a big fanfare, some time back. And Hameg, at almost the same time, released their new series of scopes. And, it got me thinking, is this a coincidence? Do these companies know that what the other company's doing? I mean, you work as someone who shall remain nameless, but do you guys hear about your competitors? Well, I also work at a company everyone works at a company who has competitors, I guess. Is it, common knowledge inside companies to know what the others are doing in terms of product releases and stuff like that? I don't know.
I heard about the Agilent thing just with, I heard about it with just regular marketing material, so I don't know. I wonder about that because there's always stories throughout history about patenting too, like how patents seem to always come around at the same time.
Exactly. They actually arrive at the patent office on the same day.
Yeah, like within hours.
And exactly.
It's weird. I mean, I don't know if it's just got to be the right time for a lot of things like that. You think about it too with especially with electronics. There's only, unless you're out there making your own chips, which we could talk about later if you want, Dave.
Please do. Oh yeah, because you're wrong.
Oh yeah. Unless you're out there making your own stuff, if you're using stuff that's off the shelf, right? So tomorrow, Analog Devices makes a new part, right? And Analog Devices 12 million, whatever they're calling their AD 12 million. And you have there are some practical limits to how soon you can get these really nice new parts worked into designs. And even a lot of those chip vendors will give you early previews. But even if you're one of the first companies to use it, that means everybody else is using it at the same time too. So you got to imagine people are watching the same specs on new parts, and that's kind of what leads to a lot of the same products having similar specs on the flip side.
Yeah, but because these products have such a long development time frame, I mean, how long does it take to actually develop a scope? One of those high-end scopes to market.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Or even a chip. It takes time to actually design and lay these things out and test them and actually get the first samples out there.
Yeah.
And yet companies seem to come out with stuff at the same time.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's a market-driven thing too. Maybe it's because everybody's asking for, if they have 20 gigahertz scope now, they're going to say, I need a 25 gigahertz scope next year, right? And they get asked the same question by every vendor, and maybe that's why.
And they seem to come out with the same specs. Like all these new scopes have serial decoding built in, and they have upgradable bandwidth, and they have yada yada. There's lots of similarities between these scopes, and it's just. Yeah, you just got to wonder what's going on there.
Yeah, I really like that serial decode thing. I always you ever sit there on a scope and try and count the up down and do the division? And you're like
everyone's done that,
I'm gonna go with that's a C.
That exactly.
One's E, I guess.
Yeah. Serial decode's worth its weight in gold.
Oh yeah, it's nice. It's really nice.
And that's the traditional domain of a logic analyzer,
right?
And or some sort of protocol analyzer or something. Before logic analyzers, there were protocol analyzers, Yep. Because a logic analyzer wouldn't decode it for you. It would just show you the waveforms.
Yeah. Do your own damn decoding.
Exactly. You can figure out ASCII, can't you?
Yeah, right.
Why should I do it for you? What am I, a machine?
Yeah, right.
So, and now it's all coming down into the one product, which is a natural progression, I guess. But still, because it's trivial to include that sort of stuff, but they still up the price, they still keep those price points high, the bastards.
Yeah.
So, because they can, and the market will tolerate it, you know? So,
yeah, and you wonder, too, with finished products like test equipment or software or stuff like that, I mean, it seems like that kind of narrows, but it would be interesting to watch as, more and more chip people come out with new products, because it seems like it almost seems to me like a lot of the chip makers are absorbing what was previously, finished good products, right? So now there's a lot more on-chip integration, and there's in-package integration, all that other junk. And so that they'd be the ones just to really watch and see if they're all coming out with the same part at the same time. That means one of two things. Either A, they're all using the same foundry, right? Because then as soon as, the foundry updates their process node, then everybody gets that bump. Or... that means that that the same effect is actually occurring. So, I don't know.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Or there's just good old-fashioned corporate espionage.
Well, there is that too. I mean,
I'm all for that. Great. Spy versus spy.
Spy versus spy. Yeah. Yeah, it gets crazy. You know, like some people... I have no exposure to it. You know, like, I'm not a spy.
Yeah, I don't really know. And, at one of my previous companies, they deliberately set up a Chinese wall, as they call it, with our design group, because we were deliberately designing a product which would be exactly the same. Well, in functionality, exactly the same as as another company who we were buying the rights to use that product from. So we wanted to do our own in-house design solution. So, you know, and they deliberately set up a Chinese wall in the company. Right, the design team, are not allowed to know, not even allowed to look at the competitor's product at all. Any aspect of it, you know, was just banned because they didn't want any design decisions to subconsciously be copied from the other person's product.
Did you guys do an analysis at the end to see how much was actually similar? That would be interesting.
Well, the functionality was always similar, and there's only certain chipsets on the market that you can use and stuff like that. So in the end, there were a few similarities, but it was just like a superficial kind of thing. Deep, you know, all the software underlying it was totally different. And
software, software I can understand, but I mean, I think about so say you had a problem you're trying to solve, and you have like 10 design teams do it. How many of those design teams are going to design a very similar architecture? And then... Well,
it depends on the product, but our one, there's only a few ways you can do a charge amp front end with a world-leading 24-bit AD converter, right? There's only like 2 chips on the market you can use, one or the other. And one is got 90% of the market, the other's got about 10%. Which one are you going to use? Well, you know, you're going to use that same chip, which then you're going to follow the app notes, so you're going to have a similar input functionality circuit. They've got, you know, so the front end
so it would depend on the problem
the same,
too.
And it does. Yeah, totally.
Okay. That's interesting.
But then the system level solution was totally different.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was,
interesting.
Anyway, yes.
Well, speaking of the using the same foundry, I found this interesting company, actually, on Twitter. This was very shocking to me. It was really weird. So the company's called Touchstone Semi.
Yep.
And they just, like, showed up on Twitter. It was just like, hey, what's up? We're a new company. We're an analog, you know, I love analog, right? We're an analog chip company. Hey, what's going on? We have a new product. They just like came out of nowhere. I don't know. I actually not out of nowhere. It turns out I poked around their site.
I'm sure
they're all former Maxim people. It looks like, but they have a cool product, and they only have one product right now too. But they're like fab based, so they're using TSMC and
their product is
it's like a 0.8 volt rail op amp.
Oh, is that all? Okay.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's cool. Right. It's a really low power. 200. I don't want to like plug the product. I haven't tried it, but like, you know, it's cool. You know, they're using TSMC processes, but it was just weird. They just came out of nowhere, and the fact that they showed up on Twitter first, where these monstrous billion-dollar companies can't show up. Oh wait. Ahem. That was. Actually, not me saying that 3 times. I should have actually talked over myself. Come on, companies, you can do better. Come on, companies, you can do better. Come on, companies, you can do better. There we go. Oh man,
I can do that at my
damn it.
And
all right, I'll stop doing that. All right, sorry.
All right.
Anyway,
there it is. You go to the product page and they got one part.
One part, yeah.
Yep, great. Got to start somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's interesting as possible these days because like the fabless model, but I haven't seen it on the consumer side. You know?
Yeah, but then it's the classic chip startup problem, right? No one wants to use your parts until you can buy them at DigiKey or Mouser.
Well, right? I'm a little worried about that, but I mean, at least it would be different if they had a whole fab on their own, right? Because then you're like, well, who knows if they're going to be able to get chemicals tomorrow.
Well, nobody has a whole fab on their own.
Well, starting from scratch, that doesn't happen as much.
Yeah, you need like a $500 million startup cost.
Yeah,
that's going to happen, right? Sure. You know, it's a bit different to 3 engineers in a rented office somewhere.
Right.
Yeah. It's a tad different. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't...
But yeah, there it is. It's got a 75-cent cost
Yeah.
for this little rail-to-rail chip.
Yeah, and so...
VDD minimum, 0.65 volts.
Oh, is that what it was? Sorry.
Yeah, 0.65, which is under the dropout voltage of a single cell is 0.8. After that, it just drops off like a brick wall.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So this thing is absolutely,
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's cool.
Fantastic.
But, you can tell from the voltages, too. You can tell they're using the new core voltages that they'll use on, TSMC. So they're using some CMOS process. And like, the rest of the specs on the chip aren't that bad. I mean, it's an op amp. I love op amps. Like, they're not bad specs, but...
Oh, no,
but these guys they'll only get a bump. That's the difference, right? So these guys will get a bump when TSMC improves their process. Whereas like people like Linear Tech or National or TI, a lot of them have their own fabs, and then they can go in and tweak stuff. They can tweak like processing parameters as opposed to just, changing widths of gates and all that other junk that people do as chip designers.
Now, the interesting thing is, right, it's a startup company, and they're designing an op-amp, right?
Yeah.
It might be really cool, but is there another comparable one out there? Is it that unique? I don't know. I'd have to, off the top of my head, I can't say.
Yeah.
But that's what it would require for them to be a success, because
like really niche-y.
Nobody in their right mind
Yeah.
would design in a part from a startup company, a critical part from a startup company into your product, unless there was absolutely no other choice.
Right.
You'd be mad. You'd be sacked if you designed in this part into your product unless you had no other choice.
Right.
So,
and that's the thing I've heard about with like not even just startups, but just companies, like just competitors in general. You have to try and be like low cost enough, and you have to chase things that basically the other company won't notice. Like the big boys won't notice. So if this is maybe $10 million of chips a year, perfect. Low cost to the people actually designing the chips, hopefully, and that's how you start building.
I've always been of the opinion that there's no end of FPGA startup companies out there, right?
Yeah.
But none of them are producing. This is one of my big rants with FPGAs. None are producing small, easy to use pin count FPGAs with high density, large die sizes and high density. They're all going for the massive pin count.
Yeah.
If one of these FPGA startups would come out with an 8-pin SO package, woohoo!
That would be pretty sweet.
Or just just a low pin count, high density thing.
Hear that, Xilinx? How about you, Altera?
Yeah.
Anybody?
Oh, I've been bitching at it for 10 years to do that.
Sorry.
Idiots. And I've had official responses from them. They go, well, that's
No.
The market forces don't dictate that.
Yeah.
Well, if you put it out there, people might actually go, oh, that's neat, because I only need 10 I/O pins, but I need to put a huge soft core in there with all this decoding and other fancy stuff, so I need lots of logic elements, lots of flip-flops, lots of memory, all that sort of stuff, but geez, I don't want to have to use a 1,000-pin BGA to get it.
Yeah. That'd be like hiding a 600 horsepower engine inside like a Hugo or something like that,
A Hugo? What's a Hugo?
It's a crappy type of car. It's an old car.
No, sorry.
I don't.
That's what I assumed, but I've never heard of it. Well,
how about a Nova?
Right. A Beetle.
How
about a VW
there
Beetle?
You go, yeah.
Everyone knows the VW.
Yeah, there you go.
Right. Awesome. But yeah, anyway, end rant, FPGA.
End rant /
So anyway, good luck to Touchstone Semiconductors.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to get any crap from the movie studio.
Right. Yeah. Ooh, there you go. Yeah. Well, hey, watch out. Yeah, you could get your ass suit off. I hope you've got a lot of venture capital there to, Touchstone Pictures. Well, Touchstone Semiconductor.
Yeah.
Go figure. Yeah, I don't know.
Speaking of California, have you seen this thing with Hackaday?
Oh yes, please. Let's talk about this.
So Hackaday is hiring a project maker, which is a really cool idea, right? I mean, they're basically going to pay someone to sit there and hack on stuff,
fantastic.
Basically, be a content creator for them. But 30,000 guys. I know it's probably students you're looking for or whatever, but $30,000 in California.
Right. I take it that's kind of low.
That's kind of low. Let's see.
Right.
I don't know. What do you think about this?
I think it's, well, it sounds pretty low to me. It sounds like they're really lowballing. And, well, if that's all they got available, well, I mean, Hackaday is not exactly a huge company, right?
Right,
In fact,
right.
I thought it was just a one-man band still,
I don't.
almost, effectively.
I thought they're. I'm going to talk on my butt
Anyway,
there, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about that. But yeah, I can understand maybe like as a part-time
Yeah.
job or something like that. They shouldn't be hiring somebody full-time
Yeah.
at that lowball salary, because that starts setting precedents in the market. And, well,
Yeah.
this producing content like this is worth a lot of money.
And it's hard. I mean,
And-
like if you're doing a hack
and
a
it's
week
not
or whatever
easy.
it is,
Oh, yeah.
like that's
Let me tell you.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you're doing a hack every week with video and explanations
Yeah.
and
I know.
everything
I had
else.
heard it
That's
was
a lot of work.
Santa Monica. I'm not sure if that's right, but that's what I heard it was.
Right.
I think it's Santa
Well,
Monica.
that's even more expensive, isn't it? Isn't Santa Monica a real
I
expensive
think that's what someone
area
said.
to? Right.
Crap. Sorry. But if it is Santa Monica and you wanted to move to Cleveland, you would get paid a whopping $9,520.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's-
Is that the conversion?
That's
is
one of
that
those
the conversion?
cost of living calculator conversions.
Cost of living calculator.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable. I don't know what the minimum wage here in Australia is these days, but it's not. It's around that. It's got to be around that figure.
Yeah.
So, that's like, flipping burgers at Macca's. Mickey D's.
Oh.
Sorry.
I was like, what
for you
Macca's?
Yanks.
Yeah, so that's what it says.
yeah,
Santa
that is
Monica.
just-
Santa Monica office, $30,000 to $40,000 a year. And if it was
Up to 40. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If you're really good and you've got a big name, because you're a big name blogger, maybe they'll give you
no,
40.
I mean, I'm
Woohoo!
guessing they're probably going to try and target people that aren't,
Yeah.
doing much. If it's $40,000 to Santa Monica, you can move to Cleveland and you can get $12,694 instead, and it'd be equivalent.
Whoa, live it up, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Spend until the cows come home.
Yeah.
All right. And 30K US is worth, I don't know, about $1 million Australian dollars now. So,
So you'd be rich. There you go. Was it really that bad?
sorry, no, it's worth about $1 Australian dollar.
Oh, okay,
Sorry,
that's what
it's got
it's
to go in the
yeah, I was
opposite
gonna say,
direction
that's what I
because the
thought.
Australian dollar has surpassed the US dollar. We are superior.
Whee!
Thank you very much.
All right.
Yes,
That's good.
round of applause.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Currency.
Yeah, that's
It's those damn
the old
engineers trading
greenback.
currency with computers now. That's the real problem.
Right, moving into finance and crashing the system. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyways.
Anyway, just thought I'd mention that. And what's his name?
Dino.
Dino. Yes, Maker Dino
Yeah.
has started hackerweek.com. I love this. He just went out and went, well,
Yeah,
I don't
I
like
can do
this.
that.
I'll go out and register hackerweek.com.
Do it for free.
And exactly.
Yeah. So we'll post
Brilliant.
a link on
Good
there.
on you,
And he
Dino.
started already, so we'll see how that turns out. I mean, but I don't know. It's,
Yeah, I saw his first video and yeah. Well, he didn't do it. He was just announcing
Yeah.
the
Yeah. It's like
thing and yeah.
it's almost like civil
So
disobedience.
now he has
huh?
to produce
It's like I'll do this for
content.
free.
Right. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
Ah, it's great.
Yeah.
Stir in the pot. Mm-hmm. See, because Hackaday used to be, used to have a good. Well, they up until this point they had a good rep as
Well, they still have a good rap. I mean, they show
well,
great
I guess,
projects.
but-
They do.
Yeah, they do.
It's still a great site, and they have a community. I mean, they have forums now and stuff, and it's not a bad site.
Yep.
It's just that's just I think unrealistic. That's what I'm pointing out.
Yeah, I think that was a bad move on their part
Yeah.
to try and hire full time. They should have just hired part time. Look, we'll give you $1,000 per hack or something.
Yeah.
I mean.
Or let them do it remotely, right? And $40,000 in Cleveland or somewhere else, Des Moines, Iowa.
Exactly.
Then it's not that
Yeah.
it's not that bad, right?
Yeah,
So
that's right.
that would be the real thing, I would think. But
Yeah, well, and why do you even have to be in the US? Why isn't it open to anyone?
Yeah.
Why do you have to? I don't understand this. If I was running a company, I wouldn't be hiring. For I wouldn't be, going out and renting a bloody space to do it. Like an actual office and crap like that. Do the officeless model. And, just have people working remotely from their home. They're happy, you're happy, cost is minimum, and, and it works. There's quite a few companies like that now who don't have an office anywhere. They don't hire full-time employees. They pay, or if they do, they let them work remotely, and they can be anywhere in the world. Why do you have to be
I think
in the office
I don't know. Yeah, there's still a lot of resistance to that with like a lot of people are getting better with telecommuting. And it's tough with electronics sometimes, because you do have, if you have shared equipment, that's one thing. But if it's like you and you have your own lab, right, that's not as big a deal.
Well, then it's fine. Yeah.
But I mean, with
or they can send you some gear, or they can pay some gear for startup. You need a decent oscilloscope, fine.
Yeah. Then you write it off.
Here's a couple of grand. Go out and buy one. Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't understand why a company like Hackaday would. I assume they have an office, right? You've got to come in and work in their office.
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, no. To be fair, there are some benefits. I think there's benefits to having a workplace.
Maybe.
There are. I think there are.
Oh, well, of course. Okay, given.
Yeah.
There are, but is it worth it for such a small?
Well, that's a different question.
Company like that
Mm-hmm.
that really effectively doesn't they do make kits and stuff, don't they? So I guess they've got to have space for that, and
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah,
but
there's a lot of cost to having a brick and mortar
know.
for sure. Definitely.
Yeah, there's a huge cost in that.
Yeah.
And that's why most businesses go under. It's the old, like 70% of small businesses go out of business in the first year or something. I'm sure it's similar in the US, but that's what the figures are like here. And it's because these people, think that the only way to do it is to go out and pay, $2,000 a week rent to hire an office space if you're just running an online website. It's just, it's stupid. It's just crazy. It's there you go, pissing away pissing your money down the drain.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well, it's
anyway, Dino, good on you. I hope it works. And Hackaday, I hope you choke on that 30,000 because that's come on. That's
all
just
right.
No. Let them work anywhere and let them just hire them as to pay them per hack.
No, that's true too. Yeah, you can do that.
What's wrong with that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Instead of slave driving their ass in your lab there for $30,000 a year in California.
Yeah.
Which I assume is a very high cost of living.
Yeah.
Anyway, not happy.
What about this design? So before you get into your design contest, I want to just mention we're actually finishing up 555 stuff right now. It's been a while, admittedly, but we are actually...
I want my spreadsheet list.
I know. Dave wants to judge Australian entries.
Yes.
But we're almost done, and so we should be announcing here in the next couple days. I'm really worried because
Fantastic.
It looks like it's going to line up to be like April 1st, and me and Jerry said from the beginning,
oh no,
we can't even. There's no way we're going to do that.
Right?
I don't trust a damn thing on April 1st on the internet. It always takes me at least one. I read one thing and then I'm like,
yep.
Oh yeah, okay,
right, brilliant.
Yeah, but how about the design? So you are officially judging.
I am officially judging the Renesas RX design contest.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. I'm one of the judges. And it just closed yesterday. They had a big countdown timer on their site, 6 hours left. And in the true style, everyone submitted in the last 24 hours or something.
Awesome.
And, down to the last minutes, there's entries,
If engineers are one thing, it's consistent. Consistently procrastinators.
Including Jerry, who was very early. She was quick off the gun. She submitted with about 5 hours left or something.
All right. Go, Jerry.
Geez, you just pissed away those extra 5 hours.
I know.
There,
she
Jerry.
could have just been sitting there cackling and waiting to hit submit button,
Right. Yeah, exactly. Do it at the last minute,
there
like
you go.
you're disarming that bomb MacGyver style.
Right.
There's got to be 2 seconds left on the clock.
Blue wire.
Anyway, they only had, in the end, 30 entries. Wah, 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 wah.
Oh, the Dave sound effect.
Yeah, sorry. It's a bit... I know they were expecting a lot more entries, but granted, it's kind of a more advanced design contest than the 555.
It is, right.
There's a lot of effort that... I know a lot of people have put a lot of effort into the 555 one, but it's easier to get motivated, I think,
right,
with
it's
the
the startup
555.
time, right?
It's a startup time because you think it's easy and then you go, oh, no, I'll just do this. And then you just add it on. Whereas up front, if you know you've got to get a 32-bit micro up and running and do something, fancy graphics on the display and you've got to use the Ethernet and you've got to use,
Yeah, exactly.
Then people just go, oh, I don't know, it's a bit hard.
I'll do it later.
Yeah, do it later. Exactly.
I've used a micro before. I'll be fine. Seriously, I'll be fine.
And somebody tweeted, I can't remember who it was, when I tweeted that there's 6 hours left, and someone went, oh, shit, is there?
I guess that's over.
Oops. I shouldn't have procrastinated. Whereas if there was 6 hours left for a 555 contest, you likely could have...
Maybe, yeah, you could have put something in.
Lash something up, at the last minute, for sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, so I guess that's it's hard to compare the two contests.
It is. It's tough in general. A lot of companies struggle with design contests in general, I think, and it's just because there's a lot of them. A lot of people want to get their ideas out, or want to get their products like in people's hands and like show off their products, but it's it's tough because of that startup time and because there's so much other stuff going on. So keep trying, people. I think personally, and I'll give this advice free to all companies out there looking to do a design contest. Honestly, sometimes you'd be better off just giving the stuff away and just not doing anything with it. And that's effectively what TI did with their Launchpad boards, right? I mean, they were effectively free. You have to have some kind of cost to make sure people don't just order 10 of them, but give it away and see what people come up with, because people are going to do something if they have just a microcontroller sitting around or parts sitting around.
Yep.
So
I agree.
Yeah. And then later, once people have it in their hands for a while, then you run a design contest. You remind people, hey, remember that board we gave you? Hey, yeah.
Yep.
Why not use it now?
You can use that.
Yeah.
Hey.
Fabulous prizes.
That's the way to do it.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
So, there.
And just make it simple. No
Simple's
legal
good too.
rigmarole and all the other crap.
Yep.
Just keep it dumbass.
Mm-hmm.
It's not hard. But big companies can't do simple. It's just not in their nature.
Right. Well, and and there's simple will eventually equate to elegance too, right? I mean, if you open it up and you don't have a lot of rules, but you say do whatever you want to, you're going to have people that really get into it. We saw that with 555 contests. They just
people love
take it and they run. So that's the way to do it, people.
Absolutely.
And I think our amp hour's up. What do you think?
Oh God, it is too.
Yeah. 1
hour and 1 minute.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
And so we had a suggestion
and we didn't even get into half our stuff.
I know. Well, please. 36 items. We had a suggestion last time, though, that we should not just ramble on, start talking about bad names at the end of it, but...
bad names?
Threesomes, basically.
Oh, right. Okay.
Right. And now we've just done it again. Anyways, we want to remind people that if you go to the Amp Hour, you can comment directly on the page. We love having comments there. Also, you can find me and Dave on Twitter. And if you have suggestions, we always love suggestions. We've been getting more suggestions lately. And
we have?
Yeah, it's really cool when people do that, so we appreciate that. So if you got something in mind, give us a shout. If you have a guest in mind, if you really want to hear someone on the Amp Hour, give us a shout for that too. That's
please, and we'll try and get them on, because we are a large, highly respected radio show now.
Yeah.
Which is now cheapened with
with bad sound effects.
Cheap sound effects.
Yep.
Thanks, Chris.
Yep. All right, Dave.
All right.
Well, we'll talk to you next week.
All right.
And
cool.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
See you guys.
The Power